Hello everyone, welcome to Hearthside Narratives. Today, we're going to hear a story about why we should never judge someone by their looks or clothing. This tale teaches us that wisdom and kindness are far more valuable than riches or fancy appearances. As we listen, we'll also practice our English together. So, let's begin, and don't forget to stay with us until the very end. In a small, peaceful town, there lived a young woman named Nadia. Nadia loved to learn. She spent her days reading books, writing down her ideas, and helping others understand new things. People respected her for being smart and kind, even though she didn't have much money. Nadia's clothes were simple. She wore the same plain dress every day, and her shoes were old. But Nadia didn't mind. She cared more about sharing knowledge than about looking fancy. One day, Nadia received an invitation. It was from the town's mayor inviting her to a big event at the town hall. The event was a debate, a gathering where people discussed important ideas. Nadia was very excited. She quickly prepared her notes, practicing what she wanted to say. When the day of the event arrived, Nadia walked to the town hall. The building was grand, with tall doors and shiny windows. Inside, many people were already there, all wearing colorful clothes, sparkling jewelry, and expensive shoes. Nadia quietly found a seat at the back of the room. Some people noticed Nadia's simple outfit. They began whispering to each other, saying things like, "Who is she? She doesn't look important." One man, a rich merchant, even laughed and said loudly, "Did someone invite a servant to this event?" Nadia heard him but remained calm. She knew her worth wasn't in her clothes, but in her ideas. One by one, the other speakers stood up. They talked about trade, farming, and education, using big words and speaking with great confidence. The audience clapped politely after each speech. Finally, it was Nadia's turn. She walked to the front of the room carrying her notes. The room fell quiet. Some people whispered, "What can she possibly say?" Nadia smiled and began to speak. Her voice was soft but steady. She explained her ideas clearly, using simple words so that everyone could understand. She talked about how sharing knowledge makes a community stronger and how kindness helps people grow. As Nadia spoke, the entire audience leaned forward, listening closely. Her words were not only smart but also full of warmth and care. When she finished, the room erupted in applause. Even the mayor stood up to clap. The rich merchant who had laughed at her before looked embarrassed. He walked up to Nadia and said, "I am so sorry. I judged you by your clothes, not by your wisdom. You have taught us all a very important lesson today." Nadia smiled and replied, "Thank you for your kind words. Let us all remember to value people for their hearts and minds, not their looks." From that day on, Nadia became a beloved teacher in the town. People came to her not just to learn, but also to be inspired by her humility and kindness. So, what does this story teach us? It reminds us to never judge someone by their appearance. True value comes from a kind heart and a wise mind. Learning English with stories like this makes practicing fun and meaningful. Keep listening, keep learning, and keep growing. Thank you for being here with us today. If you enjoyed this story, please like, comment, and subscribe to keep learning with us. See you next time for another inspiring tale to help you on your journey.